Welcome to Money Management. This week we look at the commercial motives behind the Association of Independently Owned Financial Planners. But first, here's your news roundup, brought to you by Macquarie. After a 16-month lockdown in the mortgage fund sector, Colonial First State became the first major issuer to announce the closure of its fund. CFS Chief Brian Bissiker announced the termination of the group's $852 million mortgage income fund, saying the move was in the best interests of investors. Bissiker said the fund had exposure to potentially bad debts and that previous withdrawal offers had consistently exceeded the cash available for payment. Mortgage funds remain constrained by redemption freezes following the havoc wreaked on the sector by the introduction of the government's bank deposit guarantee in October 2008. Reporting season is in full swing and the battle for AXA Asia Pacific continues. AMP Chief Craig Dunn declared his continuing interest in AXA AP, while reporting a 27% increase in net profit for last financial year. The following day, AXA's other suitor, National Australia Bank, released a quarterly update pointing to its strong liquidity and appetite for growth. NAB Chief Cameron Klein said the integration of Aviva was progressing well, with strong advisor retention. Meanwhile, AXA Asia Pacific announced a lift in profit for the 2009 calendar year, with Chief Andrew Penn saying the group had successfully navigated the crisis and was not being distracted by its probable acquisition. Listed dealer group Count Financial reported a profit uplift for the 6 months to December 31, while announcing it had found a new chief in former Deloitte executive Andrew Gale. Snowball was in the black for the first half of this financial year, despite a 39% fall in net profit, which it attributed to one-off factors including the acquisition of Officium Capital. Kevin White's WHK Group returned to profit in the first half of this financial year, and Indy Singh's Fiducian Portfolio Services also continued the positive reporting trend. A new court case emerged against independent licensee Professional Investment Services, with a consumer filing orders in the federal court against the group and one of its Victorian advisors. The group is now recruiting for new blood in key compliance and research roles in its head office, as well as other product development and advisor-facing roles. Managing Director Graham Evans said PIS was undertaking a restructure under former BT executive Kelly Wyman's direction. SMSF professionals gathered in Melbourne for the annual SPA conference. Macquarie's David Sherlow raised his concerns about tax penalties for excess superannuation contributions with the Financial Services Minister Chris Bowen. And the chair of the government's inquiry into the super sector, Jeremy Cooper, said SMSFs may be the way of the future as Australians seek more control over their retirement savings. Cooper's comments came as consulting giant Mercer called for firmer regulations for SMSFs in its submission to the third and final stage of the review. Meanwhile, ING argued against a government-run default fund, adding that existing default arrangements should be moved outside the industrial relations system. In this week's Money Management, Benjamin Levy reports on a dealer group TIF, Chris Kennedy discovers a mixed report card for compliance consultants, and Mike Taylor reports ASIC is unlikely to complete its promised shadow shopping survey this financial year, with the regulator bogged down by ongoing government reviews and inquiries. In our top story, the Executive Director of the Association of Independently Owned Financial Planners has acknowledged the association's key objective is to further the commercial interests of its members. Johnston made the comments in response to concerns raised by Money Management as the group looks to revive its investment administration service, which may potentially deliver substantial financial benefits to the AIOFP. For the full details on all those stories, see tomorrow's edition of Money Management. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again next week.